Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new episode of Random Saturday Podcast. I am Sheikh Akash,
I am Gazi Masood.
and we're your host. So today we're basically talking about a book. The book is called "Surrounded by Idiots" by Thomas Erickson. Uh, the core idea of this book is basically about the different personalities of people. The writer tried to explain in this book that personalities are not infinite. There can be divided into four colors. He basically divided them in four colors. We'll get into that in detail a bit later. But the main core idea of this book is that we feel when we everyone has different personalities, right? Even my friend and I have very different personalities, but we get along together. And this book actually explains why, even though there are four distinctive categories of personalities, and some goes along with others and some doesn't, and why and how's we'll discuss today.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you understand it properly, that where we are and how we can communicate each other by understand the personality he has been talking about, we can communicate more, and perceptions will be more better, and more importantly, our relationship will be way more better in our personal life and social life as well. So there is a four color in this book he has been broadly talking about: red, yellow, green, and blue. So can you explain that? What does mean by that in this four color?
Okay, before that, I'll continue on the last thing you said that if you understand this, we can actually connect with people better. But on the other side of the coin, if we do not understand others' personalities very well, or we understand half of the things and we don't understand others, then we actually feel like that we are surrounded by idiots. And that's why the book is called Surrounded by Idiots, because we cannot really comprehend the core idea of others' personalities. That's why we feel like, oh, maybe they're stupid. But they're actually not. They just speak different language than us, and we speak different language than them. That's why this miscommunication or the connectional gap make make us feel like that, oh, okay, maybe they're stupid. They're actually not. So yeah, the four colors we have talked about, which are red. So red personality types are basically dominant and result driven. They wants control, moves fast, hates inefficiency, and they're not rude, they're focused on outcomes. And on the other hand, oh, the color yellow, people who belongs to the YOLO personality. They are social and enthusiastic, craves attention, loves ideas, great starter but poor finishers, and motivate others but can be chaotic.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. And
right,
it's time to talk about green. The green is calm, loyal, conflict, adverse, the most common type, needs stability and time to process, dislike, forced changes. So we talked about three, and last one is blue, analytical and detail oriented, needs facts, accuracy, and logic, appears cold but it's deeply thoughts. Criticism hits them hard. So I think you might predict that why I said two colors. I explained two colors, and my friend explained two colors, red and yellow, and I explained green and blue. Have you predict that? Is there any connections between us, that what type of personality I have and what type of personality my friends has? So probably you might guess that, but as we are talking about, I explained two colors because I have one of the colors on this personality type, and my friend has also one of the personality type he already explained. Probably it's my prediction, but I don't exactly know that what is the color type of my friend. So what is your color type in this four personality?
I feel like that I have a bit of a mix of two colors. I think I have the more dominant side in my personality is, I guess, the red color, because most of the time, I don't know if it's being arrogant or something. Most of the time, I feel like if I'm in control, I feel like it's better for me to navigate to the situation or to the incidents that are happening in life, because I feel like when I'm controlling, I can handle it better. So that's why, and also moves fast. I think this is the core. This core characteristics of my personality, because I move really fast and I also most of the time talk really fast, which can be very overwhelming for some other people. But I'm not really stupid that I don't understand that. I do understand that, but I think that's just the habit of me. And hates inefficiency. I truly hate inefficiency. Like, for example, if I'm really good at something and my friend or someone I know is not good at that, I feel very impatient and very mm, sometimes, yeah, I feel impatient that why they're not doing it efficiently. Even though I should most of the time or some of the time understand that, yeah, people are made differently by the
Yeah,
creator.
absolutely. And this is the interesting fact that I, when I just read the book and just try to figuring out what type of personality of my friends has. So I noticed that when I just understand that your personality type is one of the personality type is red of yours, and you just want it to be perfect and just like in categorized in perfectionism. So you are on that, so you just wanted to the result is gonna be perfect, and you really don't want inefficient work in your field or whatever you do. You just wanted to do in perfect way. So when I just understand that you are this type of personality you have, and then I realize that oh yes, you have this kind of personality, so I have to be adapt on that so that I can be more closer to you and make a better relationship each other. So there was a really interesting point of it.
So what do you think is your personality type or personality color?
First of all, I really didn't analyze my personality type, but most of the cases, my friends and I when I go with someone, they said that there is a huge portion of my personality is green, because I'm not loyal or something. I don't know about it, but mostly I am calm. I just keep quiet on a place when I go somewhere. So there is a huge portion of that. And the second one, I could say I'm really good at analyze something. So probably these two personality type I have,
Blue
as
and green.
I, yeah, blue and green, probably my mixed personality, as far as I understand it.
Yeah, I also feel
So,
like
so
you
but
have.
there is a thing, there is a one thing remaining to you. So there is a yellow part. So what about the yellow part? And do you think how important it is, and how you describe it about the yellow part of the personality?
Are you saying that there are some similarities between me and yellow color personality? Are you implying that?
Probably yes, because I think that there is a human psychology on that. Uh, you can talk each other, you can make a really good relationship with each other when you have something similar. Each other is probably your dream, is probably your ambitions, it's probably a personality type. So when you match it, when it match each other, then there gonna be a really good understanding or really good relationship. So I think it is we have little bit of similarities each other, I guess.
I also I would agree to that because we have we have ambition, first of all, and then we have the ability to give effort into something and think in long term, take long term decisions and see to the into the future. I think that we have some of the things that are very similar, that we are very like we want to really put in the work and get the result. And then again, I believe that having the similar personality or having everything similar doesn't isn't always good, because sometimes you have to be complementary to each other, like something you don't have I have, or something I don't have that you have, so that they complement each other and we can make something really worth it. And I think there's a Chinese philosophical uh, concept about it, like yin and yang. You probably also have heard about it. Like yin and yang, both are the opposite forces of the universe, of the cosmos, but they're not opposite in meaning. They're basically complementary to each other. For example, light is complementary to dark. For example, day is complementary to night. Feminine is complementary to masculine. And then I think we both have some of the complementary skills, like you're very analytical and you thrive in deep work and deep research, and I think that's really good. I also can do that, but I'm, as you know, that I'm a little bit impatient, and most of the time I don't really like to take hours to do such things. But on the other side of that, I think I'm a little bit more uh, creative in a sense, or like uh, persuasive, I guess. So I think
Yeah, right.
that's
That's
what
right. So
makes us a
it is
really good
just
duo.
really important to, yeah, it's really important to run an organizations and keep a relationship better. So so if I give you an example here, like Steve Jobs. So if Steve Jobs is really visionary and he work on in front of audience, right? So he give a lecture and he is really creative. His design sense is absolutely amazing. But on the other hand, his co-founder is absolutely complimentary for him. They don't come, they didn't come in front of people, but on the back end they work for the make mission successful. So I think that complementary skills are way more important for organization, for a relationship as well. So if you given another example, like you might be in a relationship, but if you want a person like you, exactly you, but it is really makes sense that your personality type is green, but you also want green type of personality in your relationship. So probably it will not be as a really good relationship. What do you think about it to make it happen?
Yeah, I mean, it probably depends on the situation and the person in real life. But if we think about it in just in our using our imagination, for example, green type of personalities, like people who are in green color, they are very good listeners, right? So they're also a little bit of introverted, and sometimes introverts and introverts go along very well together. But maybe maybe in some of the cases, like you're a good listener but your partner is also a good listener, so nobody talks, everybody is listening. Then who's talking? So there could be some sort of force that are bringing that are keeping the things going, right? So yeah, maybe some of the times, like people enjoy the silence together in movies, as you see. Well, probably that would also be a good couple or good relationship, I don't know. But yeah, since maybe they can be very good match, because green type of personalities are very loyal, and as I say, need stability and time to process. I don't know.
Yeah,
What do you think?
but main point my point is that when you may go into a relationship, for relationship, when we're just thinking about that my partner will be exactly like me, but when it gonna happen, probably this is not gonna be there is a basic virtue will be similar, but if you are introvert and your partner is also introvert, I don't think so uh, it might be a really good relationship, because you need to a complementary relationship,
Yeah,
uh, so make it I think so it is.
yeah,
And
right.
another interesting fact is that when you run for example you run organizations, and you knows everyone's personality type. So when you knows about it, it will help you that uh, who is gonna make a controversy about this idea, who gonna add more, who gonna subtract that, and who has the more creative ideas to run those ideas. So when you understand the personality type, it's gonna be more easier, and you can predict when as a result gonna be a really good adaptability gonna be high, because you understand that these people will say like this after hearing these ideas. So this is gonna be one of the major thing to understand the human behavior or personality type of others.
Right. So in this book, the writer is saying that no one is basically just one color. He's saying that people are mixed, like their behavior are mixed of all these four types, but one color is dominant. Like one color is dominant. That's why they're uh, being categorized by that color, right? And as you said about that, maybe having the same personality sometimes be very conflicting and may create issues. Yeah, that's right. Because from my personal experience, I had a relationship, very serious one. So, but at that time, I was very introverted. I was so introverted that I was very shy to talk to people. Even I was shy to meet her friends. So it was really difficult for me to meet her, and she was also very shy, like she was also very afraid of going alone and everything. So this had created so many problems in our relationship that I mean I can tell you in details in the podcast, but it was really difficult. It was like, oh, okay, we're both shy, we're both introverted, and it felt like we both are weak and we're against the world. We're together when we're against the world. So it felt like that. But but if the scenario was different, like one person was extroverted and they didn't care about the world, what will other people think or anything. So then maybe this thing would have thrived for the other person, maybe for together. Because when you are the strong or the extroverted or the person who is facing the world, you feel like you are protecting the person who is weaker or who is introverted, who is shy to express their emotion or meet new people. So in a sense, the extroverted person would feel like, okay, he's great because he's protecting someone, protecting someone weak. And the weaker people, or the, I'm not saying introverted people are weaker, but in my scenario, in my personal experience, so the introverted person would feel like, okay, I have someone who can take me uh, outside, and with whom I can go, and I don't have to think about anything. He'll just handle everything. So I think this complementary personality or complementary characteristic are the most important thing for relationship to
Okay,
thrive.
and my question is that right now, so can I choose my personality, or for example I have for example I have a really dominated green color personality, but I want to have yellow color a little bit more. Can I pick and choose, or can I adapt a little bit of other personality type which I think so I need? I can I acquire those personality type, or this kind of thing. For example, I noticed that I don't have red color personality type. I couldn't able to uh, couldn't able to get that, but I wanted to have from my mind that so that I can be a better leader. uh, or can I adapt what about these, and what writer says about it.
Well, of course. As you said, no one is like you just belong to this category, and for your life you cannot change. That's everything. The world does not work like that. Even human behavior does not work like that. Everything through a practice can be earned, right? So maybe there are some things that you enjoy doing. Maybe I don't. For example, analytical work. You enjoy doing these things. And I really don't. Even though if I try hundreds of times, I'll probably get bored of doing it. So maybe I cannot adapt this. But there are some things that can be earned through practice, through doing over and over again. For example, if you want to be social, for example, if you're introverted and you want to be social, what is your fear? You fear that maybe if you say something stupid, you'll embarrass yourself. No, I'm not personally saying it to you, just in general. Maybe someone will say something that their fear is that maybe they'll feel embarrassed, maybe people will laugh. But if you keep doing it over and over again, it can be achievable. Because I was also very introverted. I didn't like to talk to people, but now I just don't think about what will what they will think of me, because those, as I have said earlier in other episodes, that those are external things. Once I have set my mind into that okay, whatever they think, that does not affect my internal belief. What I believe about myself is what that matters the most, right? So yes, there are some things that are very much achievable, and maybe there are some things that cannot be changed, which are like by born. I don't like those analytical work or boring researching and everything for hours. I don't enjoy that. Maybe if I even if I tried, I couldn't change that. But yeah, most of the things
Yeah,
are
but
achievable.
for the listener who don't know about their personality type, how they figure this out, that what type of personality they are having right now. So how do you understand your personality type? Can you explain that? And when you understand that I have this kind of personality, and I can do better for the future, as I have this kind of personality, and how this help you for upcoming career or your professional life or your student life.
Yeah, that's a very big question, but I'll try to divide that and answer slowly. So basically, if you want to know which personality types you are, you have to be very self-aware about yourself. Like being self-aware is very important, because what actions you are taking, or whatever the incidents that are happening to you, how you are reacting to it, and how it affects other people. I think you have to be very self-aware to know all this. So viewers can read the book, or there's a video about it from a very good, very famous personal coach. I forgot his name, or we can share the link on the description below. So he also has analyzed the book very uh, shortly and very simply for viewers to understand what type of personality they are. But then again, they have to be self-aware to know that. And knowing it, knowing your personality types, and knowing what other personality types are, and it actually help you. It actually help you to see why other people act how they act, and
Right.
it will help you to understand them better, and help you to adapt more and be more understanding to them, and it'll really help your relation to grow with others. And how I see my future affecting, yeah, as I said, When I have understood these personality types, I have analyzed my
And how do you understand
co-workers.
that? How do you understand that you have red type of personality and this and that? How do you understand? Is there any preference that, like your friend says that, or you just feel that I have this kind of personality? So if I wanted to test
Yes,
myself, how do I test myself that I have this kind of personality?
yes. There's actually a very fundamental problem with this when you try to recognize your personality, because even before, when I tried to understand my personality, I gave a test on 16 personalities website probably. When I gave the test, I noticed that I was answering the question in a way that sounded better about me when I was selecting the options. But I was not actually choosing the options that are actual me. I was selecting the options that are sounded better and that felt like the cool version of me that I imagined, right? So there is this biasness, and there's this concept that says whatever we think and what, like, from the same sentence you are reading and I am reading, we can interpret it very differently. Because of what? Because of the biasness in our mind. And my biasness was that I was trying to sound cool, or to me, or mm, think about my cool version of me inside my mind, right? So that's why this problem comes. That's why you have to be very honest about yourself, not to sound cool, not to sound seem better. You have to be very honest with yourself that which one is actually me, because sometimes this can be very different from how other people perceive you and how you perceive yourself, right? But if you are self-aware and you also ask some of your closest friend who can give you honest opinion, and most of the time you can probably understand if you don't live in denial or don't live in a bubble or
Yeah,
myth.
that's true.
So if you're
That's
honest to
true.
yourself, you can find it, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. And as you said that you gave a test, 16 personality types. So I have an story about it. So when I just for the first time I joined to a burger shop, and they said about me, what is your personality type? I was really shocked about it. I didn't take any personality test or something, and they give me a link and they said that you take the test, and I took the test, and my personality type uh, was probably, I don't know, INTJ or something. And they just seeing that I really didn't understand what happening here, and they really wanted to understand me, what type of personality I have. And my boss says that when I interviewed you and you did really good job, and you says, and I was really impressed about your answers. But when you just came to work and you do not talk a single word extra, so you are totally introvert, right? So I said yes, I am a very introvert kind of person, and I feel very shy to talk to anyone, talk to people. And then they said that, oh yeah, I understand that. I understand after reading your personality. So that was really fascinating story when I just joined to them. And uh, and if you wanted to understand more, I recommend you, there is a PDF, 16 personality types. The book has been written by Dr. Dennett. So you can understand deeply what type of personality you have, and how do you progress more. We might give the link descriptions on the descriptions. You can read about it and know yourself more. So I think uh, knowing ourselves is one of the most greatest greatest things to do, because there is a quote, I forget about, know thyself, who quoted this, know thyself,
Socrates.
Socrates. Yeah. So knowing ourselves is the best things to do, because when you know yourself, you can grow yourself, right?
Yeah.
So what is your weakness, you can fix that, you can improve yourself. So I think that you have to understand your personality type in order to get the best version of yourself.
Right.
Yeah, and one thing is that, as you said, that we are totally biased. We don't want to criticize ourselves. But there is no criticism, I think, because, as you said, having a friendly type of personality sounds better. Is looks better to me. Give a little bit of pleasure, but every personality has the unique type of ability to do something or achieving something. But when you have a little bit of lack of something, for example, for me, I totally bad at talking. So I can add up, I can take this type of personality to increase a little bit of uh, other type of personality like red, in order to move fast or leadership better. So it can be a great things to do. So having or knowing the problem what I have, it is a great way to solutions, a great way to move forward, I think.
Yeah. Knowing the problem is half the solution, as they say. When you have wrote down your problem in a paper, this it is half solved. So yeah, if you know your problem, then you can try and achieve the solution.
So right now,
So the books,
what you
yeah,
wanted to like, for example, you have in a dominated red, so you most part of your personality is red. So right now, are you practicing any other personality color that you wanted to have, like green? You wanted to take a little bit of green or little bit of yellow. So what you are practicing right now, and how do you practice?
yeah, I want to be a bit more good at listening, even though some people from my past experience told me that I was a good listener. For example, my ex told me that I was a very good listener. But even though she said that, I felt like she said that only because I had nothing to say. When I was in call, I had nothing to say. So that's why she kept talking and I kept listening. I guess that's what why she thought. Whatever. But yeah, there are some positives and negative things in every colors as well. And since we do not really understand other color behavior, most of the time we feel like they're being sometimes they're being rude or idiotic. Uh, for
Yeah.
example,
So
in
so yeah.
greens, the writer says the greens dislike forced change. Like they don't like changes. Like they're the fear of change. I think that I also had this very problem before. I used to stay in the same place or they had the same schedule or have the same workplace. I dreaded the thought of having a new job or having to go to like coming to Korea or coming to going to a new city. I like dreaded the idea of change. Like felt like I was comfortable in my place and I wouldn't like any change. But when how I overcame it, I actually overcame the fear of change. Actually, it took me years to understand that. Like I at first I was very afraid of it, and then even though I was afraid, I just took the decision that okay, I'll do it. I'll change the job. I don't like it here. Even though maybe it was paying good, I don't like it here. I don't like the environment. I'll change it. Then I when I changed um, 2 or 3 times, now I don't feel like that I fear change because everything works out in the end. So there's no it's not worth it fearing
Yeah, right.
change.
So do you think that environment can affect our personality or build our personality type? So is it like, for example, I go on uncomfortable situations where or my I might get shocked about or shocking experience in my past or something. So it design my personality type from those experiences? What do you think about it?
Of course it can. I mean, you already know that. Everyone, I guess, know that it can design. Environment is everything. Like if a plant, if two plants, one is one is planted in the sunlight and one is in the darkest room. Which one do you think will grow better? Of course, the one is in the sunlight, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
environment always plays a very valuable role in our personality, in our life, behavior, everything. For example, if you're in a traumatic household, if you grow in that, like, okay, if your father was very controlling, I guess you will develop the behavior of controlling in yourself as well when you grow up, most of the time. But yes, of course, bad or healthy environment can design your personality. That's true. But that is also true that when you grow up and understand yourself, when you're self aware, I'm repeating this, then you can also design it yourself by through practicing. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
that's
design it as well later.
yeah, right. I also think that. So there is some of the quote from the book. I think so. None of the four profile is better or worse than others. They are just different. So I think human beings are super complex and amazing. They are, and they are absolutely unique. If you understand your uniqueness, you can grow, you can achieve the greatness. So I think nothing is better or worse. So they are different, and we have to understand that what we really need uh, in order to adapt the situations or
Yeah,
circumstances.
yeah, right. That's right. We just have to figure out how can we use the characteristics of different types of people with different personalities. How can we utilize those together and make the world a better place, right? But then again, even though the writer is saying that, I have to disagree to an extent with this statement because I feel like this world has certain things that it reverts and certain things that it doesn't, that it defies. For example, you're living in an era of capitalism, right?
Mhm.
So in this era, if you are extroverted and if you know how to sell to other people, and if you are also like if you're a genius, you invent something, you are providing value in some way,
Mhm.
they will reward this behavior, right? But if you are, okay, I forgot my point.
Like if uh, I'm an extroverted and I am telling to the world that I have to do this and that, and I have the ability to do something, and I have to tell to the world that I can do it. So then the world will reward me, but no one will probably take the responsibility to do greatness, to achieve the greatness. So this might be your point, that you have to tell to the world that I do exist and I have the ability to do something.
Yeah, I guess that was my point. This world rewards some things and it does not reward some of the things. So even though we can say that every personality types are probably yes, they are unique in their own ways, right? But if you see in an environment where extroverted people are more valued, and in some environment the introverted are more valued, like
Yeah,
people,
right.
yeah. So you have to find your own environment and you just shine and rise.
Yeah, for if I give you an example, right? For example, uh, there is a same water is sold, same water sold in the airport in a like 20 bucks, 10 bucks or 20 bucks, but same water might be sold in a super shop or departmental store, probably 25 bucks. because of the environment. And I also noticed that where I work as a burger shop. um, I work on a departmental store there. So burger was more expensive than usual what has been sold in a street on the street shop. So the place really does matter, and where you are more valuable, you have to choose the environment probably, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
I think we have passed 40 minutes, and it's a really late night, 1:30 right now. So probably
Yeah, I
we
guess.
will come back another from we'll come back, we'll take another book and discuss each other probably.
Yeah, not probably, maybe surely.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, that's it for today. Let's wrap this up. See you again in another episode. Signing out. Well, sorry, ma.
À đây à? Ờ, dạ, card đây là card. Đây để có đọc code.